Pipeline and digital render reveals and pre-orders. Oh my. The Joe team was on fire at Hasbro Pulse Con 2023. So let's see how hard our wallets will be hurting right now on Toy Habits Live. And before we go live, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits. I'm Michael.
And I'm the Toy Sorceress, and you're watching Toy Habits Live. How's it going, Michael?
I am good. I was so excited for the Joe panel yesterday, and they delivered.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it was like nonstop. They're like, oh, we've got like 8 more of these to go through, and they already went through a slew of them. Like, oh, we got another all these digital render reveals, and they're like, we have no time left because they were the last panel of the day. So I just feel like they showed so much in so little time.
Oh, totally. And it sucks to be the last one. It's like, have you ever given a presentation from like 11 to noon and you're the presentation that's between the audience and lunch? It's like, that's how I felt yesterday for them.
Me too. And it was extra hard trying to take notes and get an article prepared when they were talking a mile a minute going through each of the different figure reveals. So
totally.
Made our job that much harder.
It did. Yeah. It was, it sucks because it's like you're trying to take notes and it's like you can't keep up, right?
Plus multitasking, other things like
yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually good that they were a little bit late because that allowed it to like run into the lunch hour. And so that was a blessing in disguise, but I didn't expect them to be like going through it at like lightning speed.
Yeah, but actually, we always usually get like a buffer between when the PulseCon ends and then when pre-orders go up. So just like how the sausage is made on our end, guys, we have to finish up like the article, get all this information, all these images processed, write up descriptions and all these things. So that hour in between, we're trying to finish up the article that you guys get to see. And then by the time the pre-orders launch, then we got to find all those links for you guys and then insert them in the article. So the fact that they ran late and finished at almost 1 o'clock made our job, mine and Michael's job, that much harder. But it was all good. We got it out. We got it done. And I hope
it was all right. So it's funny. I looked at the time and I was like, oh gosh, we have 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Till all hell breaks loose, right?
Totally.
That's for us. When pre-orders go like on multiple fan channels, we gotta keep up with all of them.
Yes. All right, so let's drop in and say a quick hello to our Toy Habits crew, and we have an amazing crew, and there are so many crew members in the chat right now. It's awesome, and we also have our special Junkies and Addicts live stream right after this one. So if you're wanting to join the crew, just head over to our YouTube page, and you can check out the 3 levels of support that we can offer, and we love all the support that you are giving us and really appreciate it. And it's so much fun to have a crew like this because we have the best crew.
Yeah, and the crew's grown exponentially thanks to the very wonderful generosity of Mr. Home Arcade, who gives us 10 memberships. So all of a sudden our crew got very, very big.
It did. All right, let's drop in and say hello to the chat before it gets too unwieldy. We have Damien from the UK. We have Toy Habits crew member Clint, crew member Frank, speaking moistly. I was in there a little bit, so hey, there's me. Just kidding. Crew member Big M. And hello, Payne's Toy Samples. He also has a great YouTube channel, so head over there. Wonderful crew member. We got Brennan Barnes, crew member, Matthew, the Baroness of Toys, very special crew member in the house. Penny Roosters Reviews. We have Silver K, love Silver K, telling everyone to smack that like, just do it now. Rub it, smack it, whatever you want to do with it. All good. We have Ryan, action figure archaeologist, love the name, crew member, and also crew member Kelvin. We got Black Phoenix. I think I said hi to Payne's Toy Samples already, but hey, whatever. We got Jay Smith, Wookiee Sasquatch, Allison Troy, crew member who is also the Retro Toy Princess on YouTube. Michael, Dwayne, crew member. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Cobweb Collector, and let's see, Toy Bounty Hunter has slipped in. We got Rob Zilla, crew member in the house. Robert Alessandrini, crew member. Skew Raider, and of course, Silver K's alter ego, Geek the F Out. So smacking it from there as well. So wonderful to see
awesome.
everybody, and so excited to talk about G.I. Joe Classified series today.
G.I. Joe.
I
I had to do a little Brian Flynn there. He loves to sing that song whenever he gets the chance.
Of course you did. Well, awesome. All right. So without further ado, let's get on with the programming. And man, there was so much revealed at PulseCon. I love these things because they're not just a short 20-minute, 30-minute stream. It's an hour-long stream, but they had to basically cut it down to what, like 25 minutes or something like
20
that?
minutes. Yes, they raced through it very quickly. And it was an incredible day because, you know, all of us were all tuning in, and it was a whole day-long event with all the different properties. But the best was saved for last because they got to G.I. Joe, and there were some really, really cool reveals, many of which we predicted. So give ourselves all a pat on the back because, you know, between us and community members, giving us shout outs and you know, information and whatnot, we're able to piece together what was coming down the pipe. And I gotta say, we were pretty much on the mark. There were a few cool surprises, and we'll go through them.
Yeah. They were,
Yeah.
they were definitely, and also thanks to Chaz the Guru, he seems to have an inside source who is
Yeah,
tipping him off, and he does the courtesy of also letting us know too, so we can share that with
exactly.
our
So it's
community.
absolutely a community and group effort to figure out all of these amazing reveals before they
Yes,
come out.
totally. All right, let's yeah, we have a fun show for you. So let's kick things off with the name only reveals. And the way that we like to do this is we highlight customs from the community. And it seems like we are always looking at Yojo ARAH's customs because he is awesome and he makes such great things. So we had Night Creeper for a name only reveal. What did you think about this one?
I think it's cool. Night Creeper is not one of my personal favorites, just because I don't know. Just I think we have a lot of like mask, like, you know, faceless, I guess, cobras, and this one, the mask has a little bit less um Cobra-esque detail to it, so it hasn't been one of my favorite characters. I know a lot of people do like him, but it's a cool release. I think, you know, it'll be an awesome army builder, and you know, if they keep that the white and black camo color, that's totally a different thing in terms of figures we haven't gotten. And who doesn't want more purple and burgundy in their color scheme in their GI Joe classified display? So it'll be
Yeah.
neat.
Yes, we love, yeah. I actually I like the color scheme. I love
Mhm.
purple, so I'm happy that
Yeah.
the Night Creepers are uh going to be coming to the line. And I love these name only reveals because we have no idea what they're going to look like, but people do such an
Mhm.
awesome job with customizing that we can really get a good feel for the
Yeah.
figures. So it's funny. Silver K does not have any connection to Joe's, but yes, that Helix we will get to is pretty
Yeah.
dang amazing. Yes, they are purdy, as she says. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
Damien, I would love an Iron Grenadiers 2024 reveal. That would be awesome. There's a
Yeah.
digital render artist on Instagram who I think has made some digital
Mhm.
renders of what a Grenadier figure could look like. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. All right, on to the next name only reveal. This one's gonna be awesome. Nagahide and this boar.
I love Nagahide, and I think a while back when we were doing like a Joe wish list, if you remember, Nagahide was on my list.
Yes, it was. I remember
You
that.
do remember? So
Mhm.
this is one of my favorite figures I had as a kid. I remember picking them out at Toys R Us, and I always loved like the little boar that he came with. I just really like the colors on his outfit because like the bright yellows with the leopard skin vest that he's wearing and his cool Crocodile Dundee hat and that huge handlebar mustache was always a really cool figure. Can't wait to see him in Classified. Super, super excited. We're getting another Dreadnok. And these Dreadnoks are looking incredible. So Nagahide was an awesome name only reveal, and I am definitely excited. Tom Selleck, I love that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Damien is dropping some heat today. And yes, sorry for the ads, Damien, but the ads pay the bills. So apology.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Yeah, I think this figure.
Gotta keep the lights on.
Yes, exactly. I think this figure is going to be great. And yes, totally share that sentiment that we need more Dreadnoks in the line. And I'm hoping, I'm not sure when the plastic-free packaging is going to, I guess, revert to back to normal, but
yeah, and it's kind of sad because I feel like, I mean, we all wanted the plastic packaging to come back and to be able to see the figure and not have to deal with the figure swapping and I had that shipwreck that the neck was missing and the hair was missing. Remember that?
Sorry.
That came directly from Amazon. But I feel like in the last few releases, and this is just this one's for the Baroness. If Baroness, I know you're watching. I feel like they've hit their stride.
Yeah.
Like really nicely, finally, with this plastic-free packaging with these incredible digital render pieces with the artwork and all the neat information on the back. That I don't know, a little part of me is a little sad, but if maybe they can incorporate this with like a window cutout so you can see the figure and kind of keep some of this and do a hybrid model, that would be neat.
That would be awesome. And I'm sorry, Lone Dragon, that YouTube ate your comment again. And yes, yeah, I was surprised by the Nagahide reveal or name only reveal because there are other Dreadnoks that probably people have more of affinity towards, but this one's going to look super cool. And like if they do get back to their plastic window packaging, he'll probably be packed like Crocmaster was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to look really cool packed out with all his gear and his pet boar. I don't know if his pet boar has a name. I don't know what the pet boar's name is, but
anyone in the chat knows, drop it.
Maybe somebody in the chat knows. And Michael, you want to answer Andrew's question? Because I know the answer to this. Did you get your extra trouble bubbles you want?
Oh, good Lord. Andrew, like Trouble is Trouble Bubble's middle name because I ordered 6 more of these and they actually got shipped. And so they're in transit. So the Trouble Bubbles are going to get me in trouble at home, but I do love them. They're so nice.
There's a reason they're called that. And Baroness of Toys, you absolutely, I know you're going to love the Snow Serpent that I'm going to bring you because Snow Job is awesome. The two figures look incredible together. But when we get to that other name only reveal, I have more to say on that.
Yes.
Oh, look, his name's Bacon.
Oh,
thanks, Clint.
You know what? That's it's so funny. Like now that he dropped that comment, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. Oh, I had no idea. And it's hard to find a Nagahide totally complete if you're looking for a vintage one. I know Baroness is looking for a vintage one because he's got the rifle, a knife, a backpack, the little bipod stand for his rifle, bore. He comes with like so many accessories on the vintage figure. I'm hoping that the classified one is packed out just as good. And then of course he has his removable Aussie hat on the vintage figure. So the classified version is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I would think so because it's going to be at the deluxe probably plus price point just because of the pet, but yeah, and Silver K loves her a good snow job, so we're just gonna
oh my god, don't
yes,
we all?
6 actually. It'll make a total of 8 because I already had 2 and actually forgot that I had ordered 2, but whatever. Matthew, I have the same question, and I would love if they would release a Thunder Machine, either in HasLab or a general release. Like all the vehicles don't need to be HasLab, so I think some are going to be coming as regular mainline releases. So I'm hoping that would be awesome because the Thunder Machine's not a huge vehicle, so
yeah,
be good.
Yeah.
All right, next up on the list is a retro beachhead, and when they say this, they mean the retro card back packaging, right?
Absolutely, but the actual beachhead figure, I'm sure,
Don't
will
butt
get
me.
some deco recoloring to be more in his classic colorway, and because the new one was kind of in that darker tone, more V1 like early classified series type of design. So I can't wait to see Beachhead in his totally classic colors, that really nice brown and green camo, and his bright, uh, you know, I guess what is it called when he has the that texture on his sweater with like the lined ribbed, kind of
Oh, ribbed,
outfit
yes,
that he's
ribbed for
wearing.
his pleasure.
I guess it's the rib for his pleasure. Absolutely. Because I think the original classified version was kind of missing a little bit of that
Yeah.
kind of original texture design just to give it that
Yeah,
extra
it's funny seeing this
vintage
on the list
feel.
because they thought they did a good job with the Cobra Island one, making him vintage enough, but
Yeah,
guess we gotta
I guess not.
make some more money from that one.
Yes, and you know what? But it's so funny. So I was listening to this with my headphones on, kind of multitasking, working, working, and when the GI Joe team announced that the retro carded figures were no longer going to be a Walmart exclusive, and
Oh,
that they were going to come on really nice thicker card backs, I literally found myself screaming "Yay!" like out loud, and I was like, "Did anybody hear me?" I was like, "Yes!" or something like that. I said,
that's awesome.
and I was like, "Oh." Yeah. Luckily, nobody was around.
It's so funny. I think I did that once during that stream too because I was just in a room by myself, so I could do and say whatever I wanted. But I was like,
Yeah, I don't think anyone was around, but
there's
it
a
was
lot of
pretty funny.
things to say
I had that visceral reaction out loud
That's
that
awesome.
from you know I guess all the trauma of receiving our taco or wonton folded retro
Oh,
cards from
geez.
Walmart.
Yeah, so excited about that and just also, yeah, the thicker card backs too, which is nice. They
That's a
should have just done
huge,
that
huge
from the
one.
get-go and, had
I
been like
know.
Walmart proof, but I think I was excited that they kicked Walmart to the curb, and I'm sure that they were not pleased with all of the images of the tacos showing up. So,
And it took a long time though for them to do something about it. That's what I'm
yeah.
surprised about,
Yeah.
because that was happening from the get-go. And we've already gone through what, like 3 waves of retro carded figures or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm happy that they're coming back too.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see, Damien. Yes, I do like the red and yellow trouble bubbles, and so I think we're limited to 2 on those. So I use my count, another account, so I'm gotten 4 of those going. So,
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
trouble
Target
bubble
actually
party.
did a great job at limiting. I know you wanted more, but because they were like really strict about limiting like the
Yeah.
number that people could buy, they're still in stock, which is awesome because they sold out immediately on Hasbro Pulse. So,
Oh yeah.
way to go, Target, to make it fair for everybody to get their collectibles. I'm glad they
Yeah.
implemented that and stopped the scalpers.
Totally. And our next retro carded figure would be the eel, which I'm super excited about because
Mhm.
I think it's nice. I mean, do you remember that Walmart exclusive like GI Joe line, their original retro line? With those 4-inch
Mhm.
figures. I'm tired of
Mhm.
seeing those card backs, and I want to see different card backs like the eels.
Yeah, me too. Um, I can't wait to see what they do with these new ones. I think they're gonna look great. And it's funny because I noticed also during the digital render reveals.
Uh-huh.
Did you see Daniel? Let's plus in Daniel's comment. I know, thick. um, Thank you for the $2 super chat, Daniel. And I want to give Daniel a very big shout out and thank you because he remembered that I made a comment many, many moons ago that I did not have a regular low light vintage figure. I only had the Slaughter's Martyrs version ever. And Daniel was nice enough to go and, find me a vintage original V1 low light and send it to me. So, Daniel, thank you very much. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I love my low light. And thicker does make Zorana happier. Love your comment.
Daniel's
That's fun.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
such a
we had a great
generous
time
person.
on the stream
And
together.
if you can, go over to Soundtracks with Birdman, just type it into your browser while you're watching. We need to get Daniel up to 500 subs so we can start monetizing this guy. So
Yeah.
let's do it. It looks like YouTube has lowered the tier for monetization, so it's now up to 500. So if
Yeah.
everyone here can just go over, sub his channel, he's a really great guy and does really good content. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
do it for
Yeah. Be having a good
Daniel.
time.
Hashtag.
Exactly.
All right. I hope that they make the more like classic style weapons and accessories for this one, because I wasn't too like thrilled with that flaccid harpoon that they put. It's like too
Yes.
gummy, and yeah, it just wasn't
It
great.
is, and it didn't quite, look like the original. And the other thing that people were complaining about a little bit was his backpack that didn't resemble the vintage one whatsoever. So I think they did that on purpose. And I'll get to another comment when we get to the other name only retro character, because they wanted to hold something back from the original vintage figure so that they could make a change when they did the retro version of him.
It's awesome. Would love that. Yeah, and the eels, of course, made an appearance in my hot tub as a kid. So yeah, I think I'm
That's so
gonna
cool.
throw him in the back behind me when he comes. But look at this. We got Do It For Daniel. Hashtag Do It For Daniel from Penny Rooster Reviews. That's awesome. And also Payne's Toy Samples has a great YouTube channel. So also head over to his channel, give him some subs. Let's get these people higher numbers so they can start monetizing. And that's awesome.
Send
Everybody can enjoy the 5-second ads.
They absolutely deserve it. They are great. And we want to thank them for all of their support for our channel. So we want to give their channel all the support we can as well.
Yeah, and you do not lack charisma, my friend. You are awesome. So let's do it for everybody. All right. So what is next? We got the another retro figure, the Snow Serpent, and this one is like begging to be retrofied.
So my take on the Snow Serpent, and I immediately had these comments to myself when they released the classified version, is this one's super cool, but I always felt that the blue colors, the blue tones on him were way too dark, and he did not come with his classic, and I apologize, I didn't have this in my hand to the ready, but he didn't come with his classic tennis racket style snowshoe. He came with these kind of newfangled, more modern looking snowshoes, and reuse of Bazooka's backpack that looks nothing like the backpack he had from the vintage figure. And that little rocket launcher that he came with was totally different. It was not Bazooka. Sorry, that's in my accessory bin too. So my thoughts on this, Michael, and tell me if you concur, is that they purposefully held all of this stuff back so that when we got they had this always in the pipeline, when we got the retro version of Snow Serpent, because they had them planned, they were able to make these tweaks and changes. Give us the bright blue on his webbing and shoes, give us the correct rifle, give us his correct rocket launcher and backpack, and absolutely give us the dang tennis racket snowshoes from the 80s style that look like old school snowshoes. Everybody was dying to get those. I know I've heard some complaints, but be happy. It was purposeful. And now we know why the Joe team did what they did with this version, which I absolutely love the Snow Serpent. I think he looks great. It was just those little tweaks I would have made to make him perfect. And now I'm glad we're getting a retro carded one.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, they had to, I guess they had to make it at the factory, right? And so I think they probably had this in the bag the whole time, and that's a great insight there. But yeah, I was wondering too, Lone Dragon, how many deluxe Snow Serpent pre-orders got canceled yesterday? I don't know. Maybe that's why they shipped them out before they had the stream, right?
Absolutely. But this one's it's rad. Like, I love this figure. I think he turned out absolutely great. And I'll get a couple of the other retro ones. But his snowboard is freaking incredible. It's gorgeous. It's got like this really cool kind of gray and white like camo design on it, and the little like serpent in the mountain logo on there, and a Cobra logo on the front. This is like a really awesome looking snowboard. I mean, they did an incredible job on this, and super cool design. So way to go, Joe team. And so this is a great take on a modern version of the Snow Serpent, and I'll be super happy to just get the retro carded one, which I doubt will come with the snowboard, because if he's on a retro card, he's not a deluxe pack out. He's going to definitely have less accessories. So this is probably one that's going to be cut from his accessory pack out. And so we'll have basically those, more classic accessories that he comes with. So that's great.
Yeah,
so then, get yourself a regular version so you get the snowboard.
Totally. Yeah, it's going to be great. And again, just loving the just different years that they're doing for these retro carded figures. So we have 1986 represented by Beachhead, and I think 85 was when was it 84 when the Eels came out, and 85 when the Snow Serpent came out? I don't know.
I think it was 1985, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, but interesting thing with a retro Beachhead, they started making those silver file cards back then, like I think starting in 86. So that'd be neat if they actually kept that silver on his retro card too. I think he was also in a tan one too, but I think they'd started moving over to the silver carded ones.
Those will look really, really awesome. And I actually get no snow where I live. If I want to go to the snow, I got to drive 2 hours to the mountains, and then I can get some snow. I actually did have some fake snow in a little tray that I would use to photograph in my light box. And I absolutely wanted and would have loved to take some really cool photos of these in that. But when I was packing up my toy room, I tried to pack up the fake snow in a Ziploc bag. It got a mess, and I said, screw this, and I tossed the whole thing. So I'll have to buy a new one when I move to the new house. So I actually took pictures of these on my kitchen counter, which was like a nice white corian with a kind of bluish tile in the background, just to simulate the snow and ice.
Totally.
But I was like, I want to go to the snow now so bad to play with these. It's like, that would be so fun. I'm envious of all of you who have snow.
Totally. All right. The next one that is on the list is the Cobra Ferret, which is awesome. I was so excited because these little small vehicles make perfect G.I. Joe Classified Series scale vehicles. I mean, this is a 3D printed one, and you can see the twins on it, and it looks amazing, and it's not that big.
No, it's actually the perfect size for a classified vehicle in a retail release. Because it's not that big. It's probably, probably about yay big in that scale. I actually have a 1/12 scale ATV that I got from Amazon. It was like $20 or something like that. And I was planning on doing that with it as a project, and I just never got around to painting it. But now that thing's going to go away, and I'll get one of these because it's going to be an incredible vehicle. But Michael, so you remember there was, I believe, like a mail away version or a special edition that was bright blue, and then like the retail release that was a darker blue. I hope they go with the bright blue one just because that's my personal favorite. But which one do you prefer?
I like the original darker blue one. I'm not a fan of like the brighter blue colors. And yes, this is a perfect size for a vehicle. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I think what they're doing with these smaller vehicles, especially with the bubble that's going to get me in trouble, they're all amazing, and like they look so good in the 6-inch scale.
Yeah, I can't wait to put the little twinsies on there, or even just obviously like Storm Shadow was like kind of the quintessential rider of the ferret as well. So that'll be a lot of fun to take some pictures with those guys.
Oh, totally. And Milo makes a fantastic point. This is going to be a Tiger Force.
Tiger Sting. Right?
Yeah.
That's
so yeah, it's very cool. Like, yeah, I think they're doing a lot with trying to think ahead and trying to figure out all the repaints that they can do ahead of time. So they just change the paint in the factory and pump them out and release them pretty shortly after the standard releases usually.
I know, and that would be such a cool display piece with your Cobra Ferret, and then the Tiger Force version of it, and just having like several of those laid out. You're going to need a lot of room, Michael. Where are you going to display all those trouble bubbles that you
Oh
ordered?
geez. Well, I think I'm gonna attempt trying to hang them from the ceiling. So
Oh, that's
maybe
cool.
behind me, so they're like lurking over my shoulders.
Fish wire.
I can just like I'll like crash into them like a wrecking ball. I'm sure it's the same thing that my chair
Every time you
does
get
with
out.
all the stuff back on the wall. I came
Yep.
in like a wrecking ball. Anyway,
Oh
only
my
on Toy Habits Live do you see this. All right. Awesome name only reveals. We have our digital render reveals, which are amazing, and they had so many digital render reveals.
Oh my gosh. I know. So Big Boa, we had a feeling this one was going to be coming out. Love that you finally get to see what he looks like without his helmet. And how hilarious is it that they knocked out a couple of his teeth because of course he is a boxer,
Yeah.
and they gave him some free weights because he has to keep in shape. And of course they made the joke about now all of the bare-chested Joes have nipples, and that was hilarious because I think they were having way too much fun about the nipple topic yesterday.
That was hilarious and it's so funny because they're like, we only have 20 seconds to talk about this.
That's what they focused on nipples.
Yeah, I did a double take, just like watching the stream, and it was like, are they really talking about this?
Yeah.
But yes,
so
totally agree. Big Boa needs his punching bag. So I think it's gonna have it. I'm not sure if they just either forgot it or like, because he has to come with a bigger pack out than this, doesn't he?
I know. I think the pack out's kind of weak on this one. I don't know. He should have come with more. I know they gave him an alternate head, but still.
Yeah.
There absolutely could have been a lot more. So, and Varanus, I don't know where you were. Yes, you did miss it. The ferret and the other ones we talked about before were all name only reveals. They literally went over them in the first like 10 seconds, like really quickly. And I haven't had trouble like keeping up, just writing the little list. I had to rewind.
Yeah.
To rewatch it.
I like what they're doing with the second head sculpts, especially just taking a look at Chuckles like black eye head sculpt. I love that they're like including these and like knocking out teeth and all that stuff, and totally agree with Toy Bounty Hunter. It looks like someone who begins and ends his sentences with bro.
Oh my
Totally
God.
like that.
Totally. I don't know if we get his other teeth, but it's funny that when we get to the Dreadnoks, that we finally get to see what they look like without their
Yes.
sunglasses on, and seeing like their face underneath, which is the same thing they had to hear. They had to reimagine what the figure and the character looked like, because they were never portrayed that way. So it's kind of neat where they had to
Yeah.
like design it from scratch, essentially, because you look totally different with sunglasses on than you do without it. It like totally changes the character's face. So
Totally. Totally. I love the like blood on the hands for the extra set of hands. It's so cool.
I know, and they're like, and that's not his blood; it's somebody else's. Like,
Yeah,
that
of
was
course,
great.
right? No, I'm sure it's got to be his blood too. It's like if you're pounding the crap out of
I
somebody,
would
your
think.
knuckles are going to bleed too. Come on.
I know he's not like. I mean, he's tough, but he's not that tough.
It's a
Hello
whole mix
to
of
Oz.
hemoglobin.
Absolutely, good to see you, Oz, from Ostradamus Toys. Be sure to check out Oz's channel, Ostradamus Toys. Help support him as well. They have a wonderful channel there. And yes, Classified did steal the show yesterday, even though they probably had the shortest panel out of everybody.
Yeah, they did. Well, awesome. All right, moving on to the next one, which is Airborne. And they made a special shout out saying that they wanted everybody to get this particular figure. And so that's why they didn't pack him in with the Dragonfly HasLab, but he's looking great.
He looks awesome. I love that they gave him, his goggles and the other like little, I guess, is that like kind of, I don't know what the other goggles were, like maybe kind of laser type
They're
ones, but they gave him
fornoculars.
like all this different like pack out on top of his helmet that was supposed to be kind of layered. I thought that was really neat, and I didn't really keep up with the various different versions of what it is, but he looks incredible. Yeah, I love that he has his vintage color scheme, so that is awesome.
Yeah, they did a great job with that. Yeah, the helmet looks
Mhm.
great. And yeah, he comes with a myriad of goggles, and I'm really not sure what the four
Yeah, I'm not sure what the other
goggles.
goggles were, but I know they had some kind of different special, uses.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like what they can just attach to his helmet.
He said that you can kind of layer them, sort of, so that he can have several attachments on at once, which is going to look really cool. So can't wait to see how that works.
Yes, and we got a question from Lone Dragon. What is that accessory right above the pistol and below the optics? Is it
Yeah.
this one? I think it's another set of
Mhm.
goggles.
Yeah. It's some other kind of special set of goggles.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I think they were saying like they didn't want the goggles to stretch out a lot, and so
Yeah.
I think they made some more goggles just for the various ways that you can either put them on the
Mhm.
head or if you wanted to put them on his helmet, I think. But anyway,
Yep.
but
Yeah, but
yeah,
he looks
getting
great.
stretched out is no bueno. Um,
No, no. And he's supposed to
uh,
come out well before the dragonflies, so you'll
oh,
have
great.
Airborne. Yep, just in time.
Yeah. Yeah, I am not actually digging the rifle too. It kind of looks like Beachhead's rifle that he came with in '86. Think the original vintage, um, I think the original vintage Airborne came with maybe a rifle with a bayonet, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be anyway.
So, so Neil says, Neil, hi Neil, hello, good to see you. That they're covered goggles, so I guess they have
Okay,
some kind of cover on them.
nice. All right. This one I was super excited to see in the flesh, so to speak, was a quick kick.
Oh my god, I think Quick Kick looks awesome. I actually started this comment from Lone Dragon, but Lone Dragon, you did me a fave and put it up again. If Big Bo gets nips, Quick Kick better get nips too. Remember, we we meet him in the Arctic, or I guess they probably meet in the Arctic. Yeah, I guess his nips would be kind of cold out there. He looks awesome. I love his alternate head with his kind of windswept hair. They did a great job of that. The various different hands he has, so he can do his karate chopping. And what's that square accessory next to the two swords?
It's his fudgy bar.
I was gonna say, is that a candy bar? And I
Yeah,
didn't want to
so
sound stupid, but it is.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like yeah, it's so funny. It's like sometimes when it's like you're like the toy sorceress and I have roles when we watch this thing. I take screenshots, she's listening, but I think sometimes when they talk way too fast, Lenny mentioned that it's just a chocolate fudgy bar. It's pretty freaking
Okay, I
cool.
missed that part
I
because I
know
was like
it's
behind.
totally fine. Like if I was taking notes like you do, I would miss probably 90% of the stuff. So I'm glad that you're doing that.
Absolutely. And I didn't even get to like look up to like focus in on the actual renders much either because I was too busy trying to type away. But free the nips. That should be another new hashtag.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean,
What the
I have
flock and
my
free the
husband now
nips.
saying what the flock. It's hilarious. So free the nips is gonna be the next one.
Totally. Yeah, I love this figure. I love that he comes with two swords and two sets of nunchucks. And yes, somebody mentioned that you can barely see yeah, Blitz said you can barely see the throwing star in the
Hmm.
digital render. But what are you thinking for the red backpack?
I actually like the red backpack because it's gonna look cool on display because you got this like bright piece on him because he's very flesh tony. I guess there's a lot of flesh tone and just his plants. So that's awesome. Hashtag free the nips.
I
So
think
I think it's great
we
that
got
they gave
another
him a
shirt
bright nip.
coming.
We're not gonna put that one on a t-shirt,
I will. No, I'm just
the
kidding.
hashtag can trend.
That's awesome. Uh, so cool. Yeah, I love this figure as a kid, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's just one of those really
Yep.
quintessential characters. You can also make out the detail that they said that they're putting on the sides of the pants. So instead of just a plain black pair of
Mhm.
like gi pants, they have some design to them, which is cool.
Yeah. Which is really cool and kind of like that flared edge to it, which looks really nice. And he's barefoot, which is awesome. Of course he is, so he can do all his karate moves.
Yeah, totally.
Charlie Sheen. Oh my God, you're so right. I can't unsee that.
Totally. Usual Mike has an amazing YouTube channel as well, and totally got here just in time for the Free the Nips. So that's great.
Oh my
Great to
God,
see
how's
you.
it going, Usual Mike? I actually got to meet him. I'm gonna say in person, but it was on Mega J's live stream
Oh,
for the
cool.
first time. Was it
Awesome.
last week? I don't know. Time flies. But
Ah,
Usual Mike, it was great meeting you in person. Thanks for joining the stream. I think like yesterday was an incredible day for GI Joe fans, and you absolutely tuned in at the right time because you did not miss free the nips hashtag.
totally. Yeah, it's so funny. We're seeing some Charlie Sheen comments too in here with quick kicks, windswept look. Definitely reminds me of Charlie Sheen, and now I cannot unsee that. I hope it's different in the actual final product.
So that's 3 in classified. We have Charlie Sheen as Quick Kick, Joan Rivers as Cover Girl, and we have, of course, Tom Cruise as the Crimson Twins. So
I love
I don't know
that.
if it's purposeful, but like a lot of the head sculpts resemble celebrities, and now I cannot unsee that.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
Our next one, we could have seen coming just because he was in that 3-pack that was announced at SDCC, but I'm so excited for this Techno-Viper. One, because I love purple, and he just looks freaking cool.
Well, he's purple, so that won you over right
in the
there,
back
Michael.
already.
That's all it took.
I know, right? Not enough. I don't take a lot for me to get excited.
Exactly. Yeah, he looks really awesome. He comes with some really cool accessories. His backpack is incredible. It looks like it has some like oxygen tanks and some other goodies connected to it, and of course that you know, the cable that connects to his rifle. What's that red? I don't know if that's just part of the graphic, but there's kind of like a red thing by his right hand where his
it could be a mistake. I don't really know if anybody knows what that is in the chat. I mean, it could be just a digital render mistakes, because I did notice they made some mistakes in the Star Wars panel too. Like they had like double Star Wars logos stacked on top of each other and things like that.
You know what it is? I wonder if they accidentally added an accessory in there that wasn't supposed to be, and then somebody had to quickly like Photoshop over it, and all they did was just color some red to like cover it up. That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, okay. So I do remember them saying this. It's you know what? That he's Blitz, you're totally right. It's that holographic display on the arm. And it's funny because I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but now that I see that, there is a little hole down here where it kind of attaches to his arm. I remember saying that, but I was like a holographic display does not look like that, but maybe it does.
Yeah, it's just it looks like a red blob. So it's I mean, whatever it's going to be, I guess hopefully it's pretty cool.
But yes, thank you, chat, for giving us the reminder that it is definitely his hologram. So very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, another army builder that of course they're going to limit, on Hasbro Pulse or whatever. But yeah, it's hard to army build these army builder figures in GI Joe because of the limits and everything. But they look dang cool.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. Oh, we have to add another one to the list. Speaking moistly, Tom Selleck as Bazooka. Absolutely. I always thought that he looked more like Freddie Mercury to me from Queen. But yeah, Tom Selleck it could be too.
But yes, Lone Dragon. Yes, unfortunate background colors. Yeah, because it looks like a mistake. And if he wasn't a Cobra, it would have popped probably on the blue background. But
yeah,
that's awesome.
Everyone's saying it's a holographic readout.
Yes,
it just doesn't look good red on red. Absolutely, that was a lame background for them to pick, or they should have just done a better job rendering that.
Yes. The next digital render reveal I am so excited about, and this was shoot, I got this order mixed up. This was a pretty sick vintage figure. And he's basically a human rocket launcher. And it's funny because he was on the name only reveals, and then they released him as a digital render reveal. So I'm like, I think they were trying to get these panel presentations and slides probably really quick together.
Yeah, I absolutely was thoroughly confused over that because They said the name only reveals at the beginning, just off like, you know, off the top of their head, like basically they had them memorized or whatever. But if they knew that Metalhead was a digital render reveal, why the heck did they call him in the name only list? I'm like, it made no sense. Totally weird. I was like, what the heck? Why did he come up
Yeah,
again? But this guy's
it
incredible.
it could be that, you know, they might have just either forgot, or they're just maybe just reading speaker notes, and that's how
It
it
could be.
happened.
It could be. It was just kind of funny. But he is incredible. This is going to be a deluxe release, just like, you know, Snow Job and Snow Serpent were in the last wave of figures. And he has like a bazillion blast effects and rocket launchers that attach to like his wrists, his thighs, on his backpack. Like, just he's a human rocket launcher, like just everywhere. This is like the Joe version of Rio Blast.
Oh, totally. Yes, totally agree with you, Rick. Yeah, I can't wait for this guy either. And a lot of the later figures in the line just kind of went off the rails, but I think this one went off the rails in all the good ways.
Yeah, he's really cool. I love his cool shades.
Yeah, I love that they're doing that with these shades. And man, the pack out is freaking amazing.
You know who this looks like, actually, now that we're naming celebrities and stuff? He remarkably looks a lot like you, Michael, with the goatee.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, the
Celebrities,
little
right? Yeah.
definitely right here in the face.
That's hilarious. All right. This is gonna be my selfie series.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't have to pay extra for it because apparently it looks like me. Sweet.
Exactly. That's awesome.
That's funny. Yes, the grunts we discovered a week ago were on Target for $11.99 and totally mispriced, but apparently people are buying them up, which is great because they're army builder figures. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So if you can find them in stock, like, you know, good for you. I tried to go online to try find it on Target and I could not. But check your stores as well, and then also check the Target link and see if you can land one, because $11.99 is a great deal.
Yes, and I do have a doppelganger now.
Oh my god!
I might
See, now we can't
cosplay.
unsee that.
I know, right? I might cosplay as this figure.
You should. Oh my god, that would be so cool. Do that at the. I dare you to do that at SDCC next year.
I will. Totally. Yeah, that's who they designed this figure as, right?
Mhm.
That's
so
funny.
cool.
You know, it'd be funny if they did like if they had like face designs for like all of the toy tubers, like Mega J was a but was a
Yeah, I
figure,
know.
or you were a figure, right? You get a figure, you get a figure.
You get a figure and you get a figure. I know, that would be so freaking cool.
It would be cool. All right, and then we had a spoiler alert to this one. Was the Mutton Junkyard digital render reveal, which was weird because we saw him at
There you go.
SDCC. So it's like, why do you need to do that?
I know. And you know what though? This shows you how the heck we're getting all these figures so damn quickly. Because last year everything was taking forever. We pre-ordered something, we'd get the figure like a year later,
Uh-huh.
and they were like on a boat, you know, from overseas and taking their sweet time to get to the States. Now we get a name only reveal or a digital render, and then we get the figure in our hands in like 2 months. So obviously they're way ahead of us.
Yep.
Mutton Junkyard are already produced, or in at least their, you know, prototype pre-production form, and I guarantee you that we will be getting them in a few short months. So they're well ahead of the game, and they're trying to kind of entice us with the digital render reveals, and then, you know, boom, they go to pre-order, and they're cutting down the time that we think we're waiting for our figures to arrive. Because before,
Yeah.
the time we had from pre-order to getting a figure in our hand was almost a year, and so now they've pushed that up, and they're showing it to us as a digital render when they've got the figure in almost production form, which I think is brilliant. That's what that shows you.
Totally. And yeah, and we can't forget the 1027 stream, which is a very interesting number combination, because I think that's also the address of Hasbro on the East
Ooh,
Coast. So I think that is
I
why
think you're
they
right.
do that. So yeah, this is probably going to go up
Mhm.
for pre-order, and probably a lot of the digital render reveals that we just saw are going to go up for pre-order as well. So
Absolutely.
geez, our wallets are going to be hurting for certain.
Yeah, they are. Especially, I mean, getting close to the holidays when
Yeah,
we all need to buy holiday gifts. That's gonna hurt.
totally. Well, you can just buy me all of these and I'll just say thank you in advance.
Absolutely. But at least we don't have to pay for them until they ship, so that's cool.
Right. I love that they're doing these retro bursts now on these digital
Mhm.
render reveals. So it's a retro Scarlet, which we saw coming from the
Yeah.
Glenda figure from the Dragonfly
That
line.
this was
He looks great.
an obvious release, and I was about to say the same thing, that I love the retro bursts and that they're using, the digital burst or whatever it is behind all the classified figures, and that they use this retro burst is awesome. Um, Scarlet looks great. I am so glad. I've held out this entire time. I do not have a classified Scarlet, and it was for this very reason, because she looks incredible. So I
She
am so
totally does. I love that they made a separate ponytail like for
I
her.
know.
And I don't know how I feel about all of the accessories, because as a retro figure, she only came with that crossbow, right?
Yeah, I
As a
know.
thing. And so, but one of the things that I don't like about the retro carded figures is like they have to display the entire pack out in that bubble. And so
Yeah.
those bubbles
And
can
then
get
they do
really long and really busy, and it kind of just detracts from
it mirrors from the card.
figure.
I
Yeah.
hope I hope that they rethink that, and that they just do a secondary tray underneath, even if it means making the bubble a tiny little bit thicker, so they can reduce the size of it on the card back and allow the artwork to stand alone a little better. Maybe, you don't know. Maybe they're redesigning the retro card backs because now they're going with a thicker card. So maybe they'll
Ooh,
change their bubble design, and
I hope
and
so.
uh, hopefully we'll get a better layout for them.
That would be nice. And we are making Silver K swoon over here with Redheads, her kryptonite.
Aw.
But yeah, totally agree with 19 Jace. This is my CS Scarlet. Totally agree. Like they were almost there in the first release, but this one is totally retro and I love it.
I love it. I think she looks great. I can't wait to get this version of Scarlet. So excited
Apparently
for her.
Silver K can't either.
That's
Um,
awesome.
it's actually going to be fun. So Brick something, who has a fantastic YouTube channel, and Silver K and me live really close to each other. So we're planning to go to a toy show in October. So can't wait to see that, and
Oh,
can't wait to
so cool.
meet Silver K, the legend, in person.
That is so awesome.
So
That's going to be super cool.
it would be awesome. All right, next up we have another retro carded figure, and that is Recondo. Such a great idea to do him as retro instead of doing another just single release in the classified series.
I love this version of Recondo. I'm so glad we're getting the retro version. And Baroness of Toys, he totally looks like Tom Selleck. That is hilarious. And yes, usual Mike, Scarlet looks fantastic. And so super happy about the thick card back stock. I don't know if you heard my comment earlier, usual Mike, but I was listening to the stream with my headphones on. And when they announced no Walmart exclusives and larger card backs, I literally viscerally had a reaction. I was like, yes. And then I looked around to make sure nobody heard me because it was pretty funny. But
That's
he looks great. I
hilarious.
love his camo on his
Yeah.
pants. Like they did an awesome job with it.
Totally. Yes, Justin, they did mention that they were done with the retro stuff last year, but I think on one of the G.I. Joe panels that I think the His Tank and
Mhm.
some other toy tubers attend, our invitation always gets lost in the mail for those. So we're trying our hardest to get to be a part of that. But
I
just kidding.
know.
Uh, I think they said that they were bringing the retro carded figures back, and I'm glad that they're putting their money where their mouth is, because I
Mhm.
love all of the different variations of the figures that are
Yeah,
coming out for the line. So it's really going to make this line really stand out now.
absolutely. And we're getting the quintessential versions of the figures that we always wanted. The only thing that is a little frustrating about the retro line is like when there's only a slight change like AKA Snow
Yeah.
Serpent, between the regular figure and the retro carded one. And it's a little frustrating because then you like spend money on the regular figure and it's like, oh, here's all the corrections of the stuff that was like not quite there for you, coming back on another figure that you just spent money on. So
Yeah.
that's the only frustrating part.
Oh, it totally is. Like the Crimson Guards, right? It was a shade off of Crimson, right? And pretty much the
Yay!
same pack out.
Mhm. Absolutely. So I absolutely didn't need the first version. I would have waited for the retro ones had I known.
Yeah, totally. And
But you know,
actually,
I
I
think
think
they're
the regular
good.
versions, like I think they nailed the Crimson color better on
Mhm.
the regular version than the retro version, though.
Yeah. I actually really like the bright one, the bright red color.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. Awesome. All right, who is next up for a
I love
retrofied? And it is
it.
Duke, and I think he came out fantastic, totally classic.
Oh my god. This Duke looks so freaking cool. I absolutely love him. It's great that you know, we got our, for those of you who collect, you know, the Super 7 Ultimates, we got that really cool Sumbo version of Duke, but he's not our vintage, you know, O-ring style Duke
Right.
color scheme. And so now we're gonna get the best of both worlds because I collect both lines. We're actually getting, you know, original mail away Duke in his awesome colors, and they've redesigned him. They kind of beefed him up a little bit. It's not just a reuse of his V1 version. So he's got beefier arms, his classic outfit, all of his classic accessories, and I love that. I forget what is it that the shovel says on the back, Michael.
I don't know. It's too tiny. I forget.
It was a classic like GI Joe line.
Yeah.
I forget what it said on it, but it's kind of cool that they wrote it on there.
Oh, totally. I'm gonna have to either take a close up with my camera or use a magnifying glass, but he looks great. It's
Yeah,
kind of funny in the digital renders, like the the hands just look like they're just stuck to the wrists. It's
yeah,
like,
I know. It's like, oh,
I know that'll hurt.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna use their similar retro style card back that they did for
Mhm.
their 4-inch line that only lasted maybe a year or so.
Yeah, totally. And this one's going to look really, really cool on the retro card back. I think Duke is one of my favorite carded figures of the line. His, because just his retro, the artwork for him is like really classic. And this is one I'm going to have to get two of because he's just going to look super cool.
Totally. Totally. All right. The next ones were a surprise, and I'm not really sure how to feel about these guys, but I guess for the 60th
I
anniversary
know.
of GI Joe ever being in existence, they are making these nods to those figures from back in the day, I
Yeah.
guess. So we have the
So
Action Soldier.
yeah, so this is supposed to be Action Soldier. I get, you know, it's really cool that they're doing something to do a nod to the 60th anniversary, but to me, and this figure looks cool as a standalone, you know, kind of army builder soldier. But it looks very kind of like modern,
Yeah.
and it's got a, you know, very modern pack out to it, so it doesn't really, to me, feel like a call out to the 60th anniversary original Action Soldier, but it's an awesome nod to it. So it's a really, really cool figure. I wish that they would do something. Going down these lines makes me excited because they joked around about, you know, flocked hair and things like that. If they made like the adventure team figures in
Oh yeah.
classified with like the flocked hair and the flocked beards, oh my god, I'd be over the moon because I have the 12-inch, you know, re-release versions of those. Those would be awesome. So GI Joe team, if you're listening, make the adventure team. So land, air, and sea. I want to see all of those.
Oh, totally. And you know they're listening because they designed Metalhead right after me. So, you know.
Absolutely. So Emily and Lenny, if you're listening out there, we want flocked hair and give us the adventure team characters.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about these, but we're getting mixed
They're
opinions
cool,
in the
but
chat. Some people love them, some people are going to pass on
Mhm.
them, but actually I like the nod to like more of the modern military figures because I'm a huge military supporter. Without them, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely. They look really cool, but to me they look like they belong in a different line, more like kind of like Action Force or something like that. Not
Yeah,
really G.I. Joe classified, but they're cool figures. They're both really, really cool figures. Like this one, the Action Sailor,
yeah.
has an incredible pack out.
Hmm.
Like so much stuff. You
Yeah,
can't even keep up with it.
this one wasn't probably an easy one for them to do because of Torpedo and the eels they've
Mhm,
already made. So it's like they do have the sailor buck, and so like, oh yeah, so you can see all the reuse of the flippers and the harpoon gun and everything, and
mhm.
uh, but looks really good. Actually, I actually
Yeah.
like this figure, but I'm not sure if I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
buy
mean
it.
they're both awesome. I'll buy them both, but just getting excited that they're doing nods to something from the past again makes me happy. So there's a lot of possibility out there. And Daniel Hearn again, Daniel, you're awesome. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Action Soldier is heavy machine gun Snake Eyes. That is hilarious.
That is funny.
Absolutely.
But yeah, totally love the pack out, and yes, definitely an incredible package. Have to agree there. So,
Absolutely.
um, it's okay. This is a funny comment. How come people want lame characters but hate on these? I don't know. I mean, everything is not for everybody, and so everybody,
Mhm.
collecting is personal. So it's just funny to point that
Mhm.
out. All the characters are not lame in GI Joe, by the way, except for the ones that went off the rail in the 90s. So,
Oh my god, I know, and I know Pixel Dan like absolutely loves all those neon versions, so no dispersions on him. I stopped collecting them by like, 91 or 92, something like that, and I totally lost interest when they started doing all those crazy colors. But hey, to each his own.
totally. And Neil, rumors of a HasLab Rattler. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out if that would be like a great O-ring HasLab to complement the Sky
Mhm.
Striker, or if they're just going to go nuts and make it a 6-inch scale Rattler. That'd be pretty dang cool.
I I love, we got an awesome His Tank and an amazing Dragonfly. Those are both incredible freaking HasLab projects, but they're big. And so the next one, absolutely would love to get another O-ring one with a whole bunch of accessories and awesome, awesome brand new O-ring figures on those incredible card backs. So Hasbro, get on that. Let's get a Rattler for the next HasLab.
Oh, totally, totally. Um, oh boy. Thank you so much, Blitz Crew, for the $2 super chat. We have land, sea, air, and space now, maybe two more.
Mhm.
That's a very interesting thing. So yeah, they've
Yeah.
only revealed two of the figures, and so maybe on the 1027 live stream they'll reveal some more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be super cool. I love that they're doing this stuff though.
Yeah, totally.
It's awesome.
Totally. Yes. Definitely agree with you, Mr. Charlie Weaver, wonderful Toy Habits crew member. A 6-inch wild weasel would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Um, Jeez. No, no big one 400 wild weasel with a removable helmet. Yeah, that's probably going to be a costly thing as well. So, but
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be the same price as the Sky Striker, be my guess.
Lone Dragon, do you have something? Do you know something that we do not?
Ooh,
His spidey sense is tingling.
that's funny. All right, so those were the digital render reviews, and we can move on to the pre-orders. General Hawk is looking fabulous.
Oh my god! Everybody in the comments says that he looks like Dan Larson. I think it's hilarious. Because again, another face I can't unsee. But
Mhm.
Hawk looks so freaking good. I mean, the leather jacket on him with the furry collar and all of the tampo details that are on there, the weathering that they put on his jacket, his little zipper detail that's there, and his classic helmet. This figure is so cool. I can't wait to get him.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think they did a bang up job. I love that they put that gray in his hair, and I
Yeah.
love that they're just layering accessories on
Mm-hmm.
accessories, like the holster and also the goggles on the helmet. Like
Yep.
all of the stuff that they're doing is really, really great in this wonderful GI Joe classified series line. I love that his pants
Yeah.
are stuffed in his boots. I mean,
Oh, I
all
know. That looks
around,
so good.
so good.
That really looks good.
So
Yeah, they did a really great job on him. Was he your favorite out of all the pre-order reveals yesterday?
no,
No, okay. He was my favorite out of the pre-order reveals.
well, that's
So,
good.
just
We'll start
curious.
off. Well, yeah, we'll kick it off with the Toy Sorceress's favorite um, action figure archaeologist, which he were doing his homework and doing archaeology stuff. There was an image of the Joe headquarters on the General
Mhm.
Hawk artwork, but there's also more. So
There's a
something that I
lot more.
wrote up this morning, just didn't have time to get to it, but yeah, there was a lot of
Mhm.
stuff teased on the box art for General Hawk. So we have the Triple T, the Cobra Stun, which is going to be an amazing vehicle in classified
Yep.
scale. And I thought a really
Yep.
interesting thing, they added General Hawk's 1991 figure, which was really weird because he's in the scene. It's like he's in two
Yeah,
places
I
at
know.
once.
How could he be like
You're messing
flying
with me.
like behind him? He like leaped into the future and like came back in
Yeah.
his other outfit like overhead. That was pretty funny that
Yeah,
they did
it's
that.
fun, and just like doing the homework for this post,
Mhm.
it's funny, like Hawk was called just regular Hawk until they
Mhm.
renamed him General Hawk in 91. So I think it's a really interesting just piece of history to know about
Mhm.
because he's General Hawk in this GI Joe classified series universe. So, but yeah, you can
Yeah.
see all of the little uh teases that they
Mhm.
put in, and they're definitely taking a page out of the Masters of the Universe Origins book here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the teasers. I love that they had the Cobra stun there. We're gonna get a Python stun, Python
Oh,
Patrol
totally.
stun. That's inevitable, and that was my favorite vehicle growing up. Thank you, usual Mike. Hawk does look incredible. I mean, this one out of all of the figures that they revealed, just to me is like so classic vintage GI Joe, and I think that's why I love him so much because
Yeah,
totally like all about old school, like OG, ARH. If
totally.
I'm using more acronyms,
I know, right?
I had to because I already went down that road in that sentence. So,
That's funny. Uh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think they did a great job with this camo, and I love these professional dio shots because you're not going to see better pictures. I mean, there's everybody does great toy photography, but the person that does this is absolutely outstanding.
I know, I know, and just some of the poses that he got the figures in, and to get them to balance that way. I mean, I'm sure they probably use some sticky tack and maybe string and stuff like that, but just incredible job that they did on these.
Oh, totally. This next one I think might be my favorite out of the bunch, and it's Buzzer. I think they did an amazing job with this particular figure, just kind of a nod to his like mad psychiatrist look, and just also leaning into the Dreadnoks forging for all their weapons. Like this bat with the saw blades on it is amazing.
And they say that was like a child's like baseball bat that you
Yep.
took and put saw blades on there? I thought that was hilarious.
That is funny. It's like now that you look at it, it does look like if you were holding it, it looks like a child's bat.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like taped. It's got like tape wrap around it, and it's so looks like they cobbled that thing together,
Oh,
which
totally.
is such a Dreadnought thing to do. So I think that was great, a great nod to it. Um, I don't you love the goggles on him?
I
Buzzer
do.
looks so cool with those.
The glasses are freaking amazing, and they make the figure. I think you said this earlier. Just having sunglasses on and off can totally change the look of the figure, and it totally does.
And it's funny when you see his face without them, like you're like, that's what he looks like underneath. It's pretty
Right.
surprising, right?
I know, like
I think the
Ripper.
one I was shocked about the most was Ripper, like his
Oh my
face
gosh,
like
totally.
underneath
Yeah,
his
we'll
glasses.
get to him in a bit, but
Yep.
man, all the details, the tattoo, the arm hair, like this honkin' chainsaw. I mean, they just did an amazing job, and I think
Mhm.
they really exceeded my expectations for this figure.
Absolutely. All of the Dreadnoks look so super cool. They really did them right. Everybody's been asking for more Dreadnoks, and I think that they came exactly at the right time when the classified line is hitting its stride because they've worked out all of the kinks and now they're hitting all of those vintage cues with that modern twist, with that extra articulation, with that awesome detail, and the newer, joint styles and all the other things that they're doing with the figures that just make them so much better. So they look great, and we do need a monkey wrench next. They haven't announced him yet, but that one I think was my favorite Dreadnought out of all of the gang,
Oh
that
yeah.
hung out with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. I loved his like trident gun that he
Uh-huh.
had. It's like, I don't know, he like crossed with Merman and was like, "Hey, I'll trade you let's mash up a trident and a gun." It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. He always seemed
But
like the leader of the group to me for some
yeah,
reason. Yeah.
totally. Yeah, definitely have to get a gas can backpack because that one was, I'm surprised that they didn't throw that in there, but
Mhm.
maybe for a retro carded release, maybe they're saving it for that one, right?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like speaking of Dreadnoks now, like the fact that why we don't have a swamp skier yet for like the multitude of versions of Zartan that we've gotten by now, and it's a small vehicle. Like it would have been so easy to actually do a really awesome. They should have done the retro version of Zartan with the swamp skier. That would have
Oh,
been
they
so cool.
totally should have.
Yeah.
Totally. Um, I mean, also you can't forget too that the Ram cycle was also repainted in Dreadnought colors too. So,
Hmm.
we need our umpteenth repaint of
Ram
the Ram
cycle.
cycle.
You know they're gonna do that one, right?
Oh,
Of
they will.
course.
And it's so I was so disappointed when, like I think we had gotten like leaked information that Tiger
Hmm.
Force Duke was coming with a vehicle, and I was like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, they're gonna make the Tiger Paw. And it was like so
Oh yeah, the
excited.
tiger
And then
paw.
in the
Sorry.
reveal, they're like, it's
I
the
called it a
Tiger
sting
Force
before. I'm sorry.
battle. It's the Tiger Force
Yes, and we all thought it was going to be a tiger paw for sure, and it wasn't. And that's because they have a damn ferret in the back of their pocket. Like a year later.
right.
Like we need another ram cycle. Like we need a hole in the head because we got
Oh,
too many of
totally.
them.
Yeah, this was definitely my favorite figure of the bunch. And onto another Dreadnought making his debut in the line was this Ripper
Look at
figure.
his face. I did not
Man,
expect that at all.
I was not expecting that either. Do you remember Goonies? He kind
Mhm.
of looks like the troll kind of dude in Goonies. I don't know.
I know. I mean, is it just me? Does he look kind of like crazy eyed or slightly like cross eyed or something? Like he's a little like out of it.
Yeah, he does look crazy-eyed and cross-eyed, and I thought like this head sculpt would make a great head sculpt as a secondary
Mhm.
head sculpt, not for the one that's going to be on the figure all the time.
Yes.
So, you were saying that what the sunglasses do change the look of the character, but yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, even with his like cockeyed jaw or like his open
Mhm.
mouth expression, I love the figure. Just was expecting a little bit different head sculpt.
Oh, me too. And I am absolutely always going to display him with his sunglasses on.
Oh, I am too.
Because
I am
yeah,
too.
because I don't know if I can unsee that face.
I just want to plus in one of
Me
Megan's
too.
cross-dressing comments. Your channel is excellent. Thank you. Really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you so much.
Um, we like to think so too. I'm just kidding.
Aw. Well, we worked really hard at it.
We do. We do. But yeah, Ripper looks great, and man, the jaws of life that he comes with, like
Jeez.
they
It
really
looks
thought
incredible.
through
Wow.
this whole thing with the um, jaws
Yeah.
of life that open and close, and just it's like a big hunky chunky looking thing.
I know. They're huge. And I love how he has like that extra handle on the side so he
Yeah,
can like maneuver it the right direction. you know?
You know what this
That's
looks
really
like to me? It looks like half of it where he's holding the handle, it looks like a leaf blower, like, machine,
Yes!
but then they figured out how to mate a leaf blower and the jaws of life together.
Well, maybe it's something he cobbled together, you know?
Yes. Totally. Oh, yes, and, Penny Rooster's reviews, if we can
Chunky.
get him back, yeah, they did say that he has a smiley face contact, which is very cool, and it's gonna be really
Mhm.
tiny, but the whole
Yeah.
head sculpt just looks just freaking weird without the sunglasses on. I just
A Oh,
can't.
absolutely. It's just one of those, like, um it kind of reminded me of, like, the visceral reaction I had with, like, Trapjaw from the Masterverse line when
Right.
we saw him with his tongue, like, hanging open, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm never gonna, like, display him with his jaw down. It's always gonna be up," because I just couldn't unsee that. So, his crazy eyes did the same thing to me.
Oh, totally. And yes, and love that Chonky weapon he's got. Wookiee Sasquatch, yeah, looks like the guys who always woke me up at my old apartment. Oh boy. I don't wanna
Could
not
you
gonna go
imagine
there.
waking up to that?
No. Totally not. But yeah, I'm loving that they're putting more Dreadnoks in the line because
Mhm,
they were just the coolest faction in
mhm,
the vintage line, and they had so
mhm.
many like weird outfits. It's like crop top, forged weapons, and
Yep.
they talked really neat in the cartoon too. They had really different accents and they were just
Oh,
really cool.
totally. They're, like, the most unique, and then, like, their crazy hairdos, his mohawk looks great, all of the, like, spiky, armbands that they wore, or wrist guards, and all the I think they said that he had razor blades as a necklace, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yep. Mhm.
Yep.
That's nuts. Yes, but even blowers have backpacks. Action
Yeah.
figure archaeologist, there are many Dreadnoks. Who do you feel Hasbro will make in classified? Do you feel are they core figures that must be made? I think all of the
Mhm.
vintage
Yes.
classified Dreadnoks should be made, but there's that Dreadnought pack that came out as like a BBTS or Entertainment Earth, I think shared exclusive, and they have some
Mhm.
really interesting like newer Dreadnoughts in there. So I'd actually love to have them make them all. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I'm sure they will,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my gosh. I think Matt Cardona is a
Yeah,
wrestler,
kind of.
if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think he kind of looks like him too. So man,
This should be like a game. What face do you see in the G.I. Joe classified character? And then everybody name like the celebrity that they see in the face
oh my gosh, that would
skull.
be so funny.
I know.
That would be awesome. Um,
Yeah.
all right. I'm really excited about this figure,
I
Shockwave.
love, love, love Shockwave. I love
Yes,
this guy.
especially because they're making Night Force versions. They probably already
Mhm.
have him in the bag and are just waiting for 1027 or probably early
You know
2024
that's
to
gonna pop up Michael out of the blue on
yeah,
Walmart, or somebody's gonna have it in hand, and you're probably like, "Where the heck did that come from?" And I'm
somebody
sure he's
does
already
already, I
like
bet, right?
in production.
Right. That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
He came
Shockwave
out great.
looks super cool. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
you love his blue like digital camo design? That's always something that I loved
Yes.
about the original figure. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Let me
Movie
see if
shed.
it oh yeah, because here we can get a better look at it from a less grainy, more professional shot. But I love the little bits of yellow in there too. Like it's pretty
Mhm.
much just like the vintage figure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love this vintage figure. I had him as a kid. He was one of my favorites. I just really loved like the blue camo on it, and that shield that he has there for like his SWAT team shield or whatever it is, the riot shield that he's holding has
Yeah.
just so much detail on there. They just really went through a lot of thought process with this guy, and I love the dio shots of him like kind of hiding, behind the corners and like ready to like jump out
Oh
and
yeah.
attack. Like
Yeah.
they did a really good job on this one.
Yeah, they did. And of course, Rob 2023, who's a huge Transformer collector, of course, you're going to think of Shockwave, the Transformer. So
Of
I
course.
do. That is actually one of the G1 Transformers that I do have, Mr. Rob 2023. So there you go. 19 J's totally cool. A blue beachhead, totally. But I'm ready for the Night Force version already. Like they should have came out with him right out the gate. That would have been rad.
Oh my god, totally. Like they really should have. And you know what? The fact that they made Shockwave obviously tells you they already had the sculpt for the retro beachhead figure, because
Oh,
he
you're
has more
right.
of that kind of retro design, and so it's kind of a
Yeah.
reuse of some parts there, that lends you to retro beachhead right away.
That's why they call you the toy sorceress. You were just working your magic right now.
It's all
That's
done right there for him.
very cool. Yeah, I was excited about this one. I think more so just because of the Night Force figure that we could get out of him, but he
Yeah,
looks great.
you're a huge
Uh,
huge Night Force fan, right?
oh my gosh, yes, yes. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if I can't get him in the vintage line because I bought them and sold them too many times and I can't get them back, I would be happy to have a classified version.
And this is, I think, one of Michael's biggest toy collecting regrets, because I
Oh, it
can
is.
see and feel your pain every time you remind me that you sold those off. I know.
It is.
I'm sorry.
The totally fine. Like the other toy selling regrets are selling the Euro versions of a lot of these figures, like Tiger Force, Tunnel Rat, Marujo. I mean, there's a whole bunch that I would love to get back.
I know. That's a whole nother episode too. Like, what are your biggest, toy
Oh my
collecting
gosh.
regrets?
We should totally do that. It would just be like a
Yeah,
cathartic like therapy session.
absolutely. I
That'd
know.
be
I can
fun.
tell you some stories too.
That'd be fun. I'd probably like end up crying through the whole thing, but
Oh my
whatever.
god, I know, right?
um, all right, and the last one that went up for pre-order was Agent Helix, and she came out fantastic. I love what they did with
Mhm.
her hair, which is having that
Like the little
come down, and man, those
I
blades
kind
that
of
have
feel like
attached to
always
her.
just like brushing it off to the side. Of course, you can't, because it's a piece of plastic. But you can't help but like, oh, let's move that hair out of the way.
Yeah, she came out amazing. I love the yellow and the kind of darker
Yeah.
grays, and the blacks just work so well.
Oh my god, I know. It's like she's just ready to like kick some ass. Like you don't want to run into her.
No, look at this. And kudos
Mhm.
to the person who set these up and frames these. I think Emily was saying, like, how did they not fall over? It's funny.
I know, right? It's
But
just
man, like this
incredible.
whole scene is like amazing. She's got blades attached to her wrist. She's holding two, what is these katana swords? I don't know,
Mhm.
but probably a reuse of one of Snake Eyes' swords. But
Oh,
it looks
totally.
awesome, so great.
Yeah. But it's really cool how they put those like arm attachments on her wrists for the swords to come off
Yeah,
from. Yeah.
yeah, it's very creative what they did with this
Mhm.
figure. Yeah, she looks awesome. So hopefully, yeah, I mean, we're seeing the figure right here, and she looks amazing.
Mhm. She really does.
We
They
got
did a great job.
Silver K going after another figure. I think we're going to turn Silver K into a classified series collector by the end of this. So that was my main purpose for this stream anyway.
Absolutely. And Rob 2023 says, so Michael and Toy Sources, who do you want to see added to the line that
Oh,
wasn't name dropped or shown yesterday? That's a really good question, Rob. And
it
I got to
is.
think
I
about
mean,
it.
I have my
Well, I
favorite.
know.
If you
Hmm.
want to think about yours, but Blowtorch would be my ultimate figure that I would want in the classified series. Like, I love the coloring, and
Hmm.
he has a special place in my heart because I played with him probably the most as a kid. And so
Aw.
I'm so sad that they have not made him yet, but it's going to be glorious when he does, because I
Mhm.
want to see that kind of Lego brick armor come out
Yeah.
in the classified series that the vintage
I
figure had.
know.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he would look really, really cool.
What about
Um,
you?
well, I really would love a Lifeline figure, because I think he's
Oh,
just going to look really cool in that bright red with the white accents. But I'm hoping also that they release a retro rock and roll V2 version
Ooh.
because that was my first O-ring figure that I had ever in the collection.
Oh
And
my
it
gosh.
always held a special place in my heart with those big
Oh,
Gatling guns with the little, like, things hanging off of it and that cool backpack that he
yeah.
wore. So the rock and roll was always my favorite figure just because it was my first. So I want to see him come out.
Yes, always the firsts are very special, and it's like
Mhm.
that version of rock and roll too. Maybe it's coming because it kind
Mhm.
of mirrors like what Metalhead was doing, right?
Yep.
Being a human rocket launcher, like rock and roll
Mhm.
V2 was just a human
Yeah,
machine gun.
absolutely. So those were there's so many left to do that are like core figures, like, they're mentioning like Alpine and Night Viper. Those are two really, really good ones that we haven't gotten yet. Um, so many. There's just so many that I can't even name.
Yeah,
Really incredible figures
there's a
that are
lot.
left.
Actually, that'd be a fun stream too. Like, what was your first ever like toy from each
Mhm.
toy line, right? I think would be
Yeah.
awesome. Like, I'd have a hard time remembering which was my first, but maybe they're
Do you,
just
you
the
do you remember which was your first Joe?
ah, sadly no. I don't.
You don't.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe my dad has, or like my parents have some pictures of me opening something
Yeah.
that could jog my memory. But
And you don't remember what your like very first action figure ever was?
no, I mean I was too little. So I mean it's probably
Yeah.
a Star Wars figure to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
so
have a lot
cool.
of like cool stories related to your first like the
Oh my god, I know. Well, I
was it
do
your
remember my very
Aquaman?
first Star Wars figure, which was X-Wing Luke, and a family friend bought that for me because they came to visit from another country, from Spain, and then bought their kid like every single Star Wars figure and vehicle ever made. And I walked into the room they were staying at my grandmother's house and saw all of these toys on the floor, and I nearly fell over. And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, because they're very expensive in Spain, and he took them all back with him. And his mother was very kind and took me and my sister to the store and bought us a Star Wars figure, and it was X-wing Luke. And I lost his gun in our backyard
Oh
of
no.
our childhood house, and it probably stayed there to this day.
Oh.
Lost like back behind the garage, so I will never forget that. But my very first action figure ever, I believe, that I got to pick out myself was Aquaman from the Superpowers line. So
Oh, that's
fond,
cool.
fond memories of that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Speaking of celebrities,
Which I
because we've
still have.
talked a lot about celebrities, Jason Momoa is actually at our local Safeway right now signing I guess he has a new vodka line out, so he's signing it, and I have
Oh,
no idea why he chose our local Safeway to do it, but there was a huge line wrapping all the way
wow.
around the Safeway. I was like, he mentioned
Oh my gosh.
Aquaman. I was like, wait,
I've seen him actually. He was shopping at my Ralph's like 2 years ago.
that's
We saw
weird.
him walking out with his wife in the parking lot. It was
That's
hilarious.
crazy. That
And
is
I was like,
hilarious.
"That's Aquaman." He to me, like, Aquaman was always Arthur Curry, was always Aquaman from the Super Friends, and never had a beard and long hair. That was just not Aquaman for me. So I haven't been able to like latch myself onto that. But I do gotta say, I was super excited when McFarlane, like I think it was last week, released freaking the seahorse for Aquaman. So I did pre-order that from their line, and I pre-ordered the Aquaman from that movie because I was like, oh, that's cool. I guess he's a 7-inch one that'll go on him. But I'm
Oh,
getting a
that's
freaking
awesome.
seahorse for Aquaman, so I'm so happy about that.
That's so cool. I'm gonna go back to a lot of these comments, and it's really awesome that
Mhm,
people are dropping this stuff in the chat. So Crystal Ball, Raptor, Airtight for Wookiee
mhm.
Sasquatch. We got Voltar for Damien and Lightfoot. That would actually be very cool. Um, Alpine and Sci-Fi for Rob 2023. Neil Hill,
Mhm.
definitely am with you on Blowtorch. Yes, we got to get Silver K over to the classified series. So
Oh my
maybe
god,
when we
so cute.
meet and when I meet her in person, we can consummate the classified series line by having her buy one
Absolutely.
at the toy show.
If any of you guys also remember what your first Joe figures were, let us know in the chat. So Milo Pantoni says they were Grunt, Flash, and Zap. That is really, really cool
Ooh,
from the Wave 1 line. those are awesome. And
Totally.
I still remember, Michael, you mailing me all of your Joe collection
Jeez.
so that I could photograph it for the shop pages. And you had all of the V1, like Wave 1 and 1.5
Yep.
swivel arm versions of all of the first 12 figures. And you sent your entire collection in the mail to me. And I was like, dear God, I hope they get here okay. Which they made it. And they're all photographed on our shop page. But every time I see one of those original 12 Joes, I remember about that.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. It was a lot of work, but and also you put in a crap ton of work on those vintage Joe shops too. So
hours and hours and hours just restoring all of the
yeah,
package art images from the things that I had to source online and clean up and fix tears in boxes and remove price stickers off of things and just and things were like sitting on like floors of people and all sorts of stuff, and you could not tell at all when I had all the finished images. They got a lot of love, so that's an awesome
that's good.
resource just if you love vintage Joe's Waves 1 through 10. Check it out on our page.
Yes. Let's see who else we got. Footloose and Airtight. Ooh, Milo. We need Cold Slither classifieds here. I think that's a Dreadnok, if I'm not mistaken. But if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me.
Dial tone is really cool too.
Yes. Oh, dial tone we definitely need. Miss Allison Troy, the retro toy princess, first figure Death Squad commander. Oh, from the Star Wars line. Interesting.
Oh,
First Joe, really Scarlet, not surprising. First Motu, Tila, and Zodak. Again, not surprising, but that's awesome.
Not surprising at all. Footloose, definitely. And who would not love a hooded Cobra Commander? I don't think we're ever going to get one, but there's some really good customs out there. I have a nice custom head on mine. Would absolutely love one. But Footloose would be a really, really cool figure, Wookiee Sasquatch. Totally agree with that.
Oh, totally. Usual Mike Television thinks his first Joe was Muskrat. I mean, he'd be cool because, well, I mean, they have to make him because he's one Night Force figure and also just his regular figure too. So that'd be awesome. Very cool, man. There's so many good stuff in here.
Yeah, so many great figures.
Yes, and last thing that we're going to cover off on before we wind down, how do people feel about the Crimson Strike team going up for pre-order? Did you get it? Did you not? Did you pass on it? I absolutely love what they did here.
I love this design. What did you think about like the candy coating, I guess, finish on the Baroness's outfit that they did?
I think that's very amazing that they did that because it's a convention exclusive and the set's a lot of money too. And so I think they've had to do it, just to make it that more appealing. But I love the candy coating, as they called it. And it's a good play for off of the matte texture and matte paint.
I mean, they work out to $30 a figure. So that's much higher than the standard line. But you do get an awesome pack out with all of them. They come with a ton of accessories. I love all of the gold machine guns, rifles, and gold accents on their outfits too. I think they're great.
Yes, Usual Mike says the strike team is fire. I definitely think so. And I had to order more Trouble Bubbles because I had to give these Crimson Strike team a ride. It's like, I think now that they're coming out with the Ferret, it'll basically make some room for like the Trouble Bubble army that I'm building too. So like
absolutely,
the twinsies can ride on the Ferret and the Crimson Strike team can ride in the Trouble Bubbles.
Oh my God, you're so right. And then you can put some more Crimson Guards riding the rest of your 6 Trouble Bubbles you have left because you got 8.
I know, right?
Oh my God, that's gonna look so cool. Huge shout out to Mega J Retro, who is in our chat right now. Mega J, how are you, my friend? He says that he just had to have the strike team and loves the swappable faceplates. I thought that was brilliant of them. And this Baroness is heavy with a pair of twins. This is awesome. So Mega J, so cool to see you out in the chat.
Totally. Yeah, I love the face plates that they're doing, and I wish they would do more. If Ripper had a swappable face plate, that would be amazing because it can
Oh
change
my
his
god, I
goofy look.
know, right? Get rid of the crazy eyed look.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's awesome.
totally.
Yeah, I'm
It
super
is so
excited.
cool.
Can't wait for these things to ship, and
Mhm,
just the paint apps are fabulous, like with the gold guns and the gold accents.
mhm,
They did a really great
mhm.
job.
They did, and then you also get the special edition gold colored stands that go with it
Yeah.
and look really incredible. The fact that they even, thought about that small detail and how it's
Mhm.
gonna look on your shelf, I thought was brilliant, and that they did give us display stands with them. So that was really cool.
Yes, and the red silencer tips are pretty freaking amazing. Like, why not a crimson red silencer, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
that looks really, really cool.
Oh my gosh. The next, like after Blowtorch, I think Heat Vipers is my next one that I would want. I mean, those things are freaking insane. Basically it's the whole like actually it's probably pretty apropos for me to like the Heat Viper if I like Blowtorch, but
Oh, totally.
those figures were pretty cool. It's like the orange and purple and silver. I would love those.
Yeah. Yeah, those are gonna be really awesome. I'm sure they're gonna come. And Brian King says Deep Six version 2. That would be awesome. Silver Cage, just the tips. Oh my
Jeez.
god. Oh, Jace, 19 Jace says
Oh.
Battle Armor Cobra Commander. So definitely want to get that one.
Oh, I would love that. That is my like aside from the vintage one, the first release, the Battle Armor Cobra Commander is my second favorite Cobra Commander out of the bazillion Cobra Commanders out there.
Oh my god, yeah, he's really, really cool. I want that version. That one's gonna look awesome in classified scale.
It will. But man, I thought the Joe team has been just doing a bang up job just with everything, and I think they've really hit their stride in this last year. And unfortunately, that comes with a lot of money that we're forking over for this line because it's yeah, they're releasing so many great things. It's like it's hard to pass on any of them.
Oh my god, I know, and I'm starting to have to be like at least a little bit pickier when I'm like pre-ordering stuff. I can't get it all,
Mhm.
um, especially because I've been spending a mint on my house remodel right now.
Right.
So I'm just kind of like, those are cool, but I gotta like, and then cut down on like multiples of anything, because there's just so much cool stuff coming out.
Oh, there is, and they're doing such a great job, and it's so hard to like not get everything. And it's so funny because I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to order that like caramel snake eyes, desert snake eyes commando that came out, but I did.
Did
It's
you?
shipping from Pulse. I did. I'm like, "Ugh."
You caved. You
I
caved. I
did. I was
know.
like, do I need my 21st snake eyes? Maybe. I don't know.
Mhm. I haven't caved yet. He is cool, but probably after you get him, then you're gonna be a bad influence. And I'm like, oh, I got to get that one too.
Yeah. Um, I can't yeah, like, the people who can buy 2 of everything, my hat's off to you because, like, that is amazing and glad you can do it, but, yeah, it's like with all the cool stuff that they're coming out, it's so hard to, like, double up on everything.
Yeah, yeah. I had to kind of stop doing that.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, awesome. Alright, so, I think if there is
Mega
not
J wants
anything
to know
else that we
where's Jinx.
Oh,
Jinx
that's a
is a
good question. Maybe we'll see a digital render reveal for Jinx at the 10/27
I
Hasbro
think
Pulse
so.
live stream. So,
Absolutely. I think they're holding off. And of course, I'm sure you all know Mega J Retro, but if you do not, you're probably living under a rock. I always say that. Check out Mega J's channel. Mega J is incredible. One of my favorite toy tubers, an awesome friend of the channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, watch Mega J. He is just an awesome, awesome friend and supporter of our channel.
he
So
is.
just giving
He
him some love
rules.
and support back.
Of course, of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that they're gonna make at least the core characters from
Mhm.
1982 to 1986 at least,
Yeah.
with some, you know, ones that went off the rails, later on, which is
Here
great.
and there.
I'm happy with
It
that.
would be really cool if they like verbally made a commitment like the Mattel team did to say, hey, we are not going to finish the line until we do all of the vintage characters, or maybe the original line from X to Z or something like that, just to give people like that peace of mind that we'll be getting like all of our favorite figures eventually.
Yeah.
That would just be really cool. I know the line's not going anywhere at all anytime soon, but just knowing that like, hey, like eventually we will be getting like all of these incredible figures from our childhood just makes it that much cooler.
Oh, totally. All right. Yeah, was really impressed with the offerings that they have from the Joe team, and can't wait to see what their 1027 reveals are going to be too. So it's going to be awesome.
Oh my god, I know, it's like yet another wallet crunching
Oh, geez.
event that's
Yeah.
gonna crush all of our budgets, but still it's gonna be super cool and can't wait to see
I know,
what
but
they
it's
have in
going to be
store.
so much fun.
I know,
Yes, and
and
probably
it's great
another
that
grinding day for us trying to cover it too.
oh my god, are they going to be doing just like solely focused on GI Joe, or is it going to be like a whole bunch of other properties again?
I think they do shorter panels focusing on kind of all of their properties. I think they'll probably do something Indiana Jones related as well, because we haven't seen anything from that line in a bit. So maybe.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And it's so funny because I was checking on like our website activity yesterday and in the afternoon, and I was like, oh, it's a little slower than usual, and that's kind of odd. I'm like, we have PulseCon going on, like what's going on? And then I thought to myself, everybody who watches our show and reads our website, they were all on PulseCon from
Yeah.
9 to 1 p.m. all day long and then not looking at anything else. So that explained
That's
it to me.
funny.
But that was kind of cool because I felt like this really close sense of community that we were all doing the same thing together.
Oh,
Although we were probably all at work with like a headphone on and just watching it tangentially. That was really cool that we all got to share in that awesome event with all the brands we love.
oh, totally. Milo 1027 might be another Joe Haslab. Who knows?
God,
Like that
please
would
don't.
be amazing, right? So like we
Yeah,
just
amazing to
got
give our wallets
Dragon
a break.
need a break. I know, right? It'd be an amazing HasLab would be an O-ring version of the Terradrome on that
Oh my
scale. Like,
god,
yeah. Okay,
that would be so cool.
that is another regrettable thing that I
Did you
sold. So I
sell it?
had an like absolutely mint version of the Terradrome, and this was I think in the early it was between like 2005 and 2010. I just didn't have room for it, and I sold it, and I'm like, I'm so mad at myself now. I want to go back to in the past, Michael, and be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like slap
I know,
yourself
right?
silly.
Slap me
Oh my
upside the
god.
face.
That's so funny. Oh my god. I'm still drooling over that complete USS flag that I saw last weekend, which
I know.
I
I was
can't
looking
put
at
the
that
time.
because I was bringing up the slides from last week, just making a copy of it for this week, and I was like, it looks so good.
If you are so inclined, I can help you make it happen.
You're such an enabler.
I know.
But
I'm
I love
so such a bad influence. We can send it in just a couple boxes and get it shipped up to you.
I know, right? Oh geez, it's so funny. Baroness of Toys uses the same expression as you do, the feng shui attack and sold my Terradrome. I think we definitely need to
Yep.
do a regrettable
Hmm.
regrettable sale
Yes.
stream
Yes.
soon.
Absolutely. And I don't know about
Can't
you,
even
Michael
talk
and,
until
and
now.
Baroness. Do you guys like kind of feel bad sometimes after like all these pre-orders like spring up and then you go and you have like fun swear attack and just clean up like all of your pre-orders and be like, I don't need this one, I don't need this one. Oh, this figure is like cool, but not that
Yeah.
cool. And then you just start canceling a bunch of pre-orders and then regret it like 2 months later when like everyone's getting their figures. You're like, oh my god,
Yep.
that was so cool. Why'd I cancel?
I know. It's like, I'm so in love with the 36 version of Snake Eyes that it's like I have to have it. But
I know. He's caramel colored. You have to.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Dan,
I'm going to
let's
beg you
see.
to leave it. Sorry. How's it
I
going,
know
Dan?
it. I have not opened my Battle Cat yet. It's sitting over here. I can see it. I don't know why. I just have not opened my Mondo Battle Cat. No
That
idea
is
why.
so
I guess I just have a backlog of crap to open, and almost like it's a little overwhelming at this point. Maybe that's
Yes,
why.
yes, absolutely. I want it all. I want it all. I want it now.
That's such an amazing song from Queen too. I love that reference.
Yep.
I want it all.
No, I want it now. Oh my god, I have
Yes.
so many things that I got in my haste to like stage my house that had come, and I had just taken the package and literally shoved it in a box, and it's like away in the garage somewhere now that I didn't get to open at all. And I'm like, I'm not gonna see it for another like probably 2 months. So I
Oh my
totally get it. I
gosh,
had a
yeah.
backlog of stuff and it's gone. Like
Oh,
I know.
no live unboxing right now. No, we're we gotta
Ah,
we actually have to jet because we are having
yep.
our junkies and addicts private live
Mhm.
stream. So very
Yep.
exciting topic. So I was in San Francisco last week for work and visited um, a store in San Francisco and got some really interesting information from the person working there.
Mhm.
So we're going to chat about that and lots more stuff. But yeah, if there's anything else that you want to cover off on Toy Sorceress, go for it.
I think we're good, and all of you junkies and addicts are going to get a special treat with some secret news. So
Oh
if you
boy.
want to become a member and get to join in and fun stuff like that, and like our after parties, our hot tub parties, and getting exclusive information, be sure to join on our YouTube page. Go on your desktop, hit the join button, help support the channel. We would love to have you become part of our crew. And I can't wait to hear the details because Michael has some juicy gossip for you crew members. So be sure to tune in right after this stream for our fun after party for our junkies and addicts.
Yeehaw. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And yeah, we'll definitely have a regrettable sale therapy session sometime in the future. Hope everyone has a great rest of your Saturday. And junkies and addicts, we cannot wait to see you in a couple minutes. We just need to exit here, go into the other live stream, and we will be on again.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys shortly.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one, everybody.